My ex-husband and I were talking about the phrase, it doesn't matter. And I was saying that, that indicates to me that matter is one of the only things that does matter. When you say it doesn't matter, that's saying it's not important, as if matter is important. So he was like, well, that's like the phrase, it doesn't hold any weight. I mean, atoms don't really have a weight per se. They have mass. And so I look up, and so I was looking up what is weight, or how do atoms have weight, and I found this here. Mass is a measure of the quantity of a substance, while weight is a measure of how a mass acts in a gravitational field. Now, right there, that sounds alarm bells for me, because gravity is still a theory, and it is one that is not observable or repeatable. And so when mathematical equations begin talking about gravitational fields, I get suspicious. So what is weight as far as in an etymology dictionary? Okay, let's see, let's go to weight. Okay, so it's from the Old English gewit, weighing, weight, downward force of a body or heaviness. Now, one thing that's very suspicious here is that the word itself is the definition. And that tells me they may not know the origin, or also it can indicate, nonsense. So it's from the Middle Dutch, it's from the Proto-Indo-European weg, or Proto-Germanic witty, which is from the Proto-Indo-European weg. So you want to see weigh. Okay. Weigh is find the weight of, measure, have weight, lift, carry, support, sustain, bear, move. So essentially, the weight is just, I think, the measurement of something, but it's a man-made construct, of course. So it's from the Proto-Indo-European root weg, to go, move, transport in a vehicle. The original sense was of motion, which led to that of lifting, then to that of measure the weight of. The older sense of lift, carry survives the nautical phrase, weigh, anchor. So again, we go back to water and sea, and which goes to energy and electricity. And the only forces that are actually measurable is electricity and magnetism, electromagnetism, I think. So, and weigh is also phonetically the same as way, W-A-Y, which, makes me think of a path or a way. When they tell us about weight, it's another way to manipulate us. Just thought I'd share. Have a good day. So they are measuring something when, we say step on a scale, but who knows what they're actually measuring. I also found, let's be clear about the difference between weight and mass. Most of the time, when we're talking about weight, we actually mean mass. Mass is the amount of matter something is made from. Weight is a measurement of how much the force of gravity acts on a given amount of mass. The force of gravity varies slightly all over the earth, so while your lump of iron has the same mass, its weight varies. It might weigh a little bit more in Bangladesh than it does in Tibet. Now, that would be an interesting experiment, to take a scale and actually see how much one weighs differently in each place. I mean, you would have to do the same time of day, different things, and you could do inanimate objects as well, if you had the money to travel the world and do that. But, yeah, so then I found it interesting that electronic balances give weights instantly as a digital readout. Scales that people use, and this is how scales that we use to weigh ourselves often work this way, okay? So you stand on a platform, and our weight pushing down compresses a pressure sensor called a piezoelectric transducer. This is kind of a crystal that makes an electric current when you squeeze it. The harder you push, the more current it makes. So the heavier you are, the more current flows in the transducer. An electronic circuit connected to the transducer measures the current and converts it into a weight measurement in kilograms, pounds, stone, or any other unit you select. Now, I find this interesting because, a lot of times, you hear the excuse that muscle, quote unquote, weighs more than fat as a way to explain, like, somebody that weighs more but looks like they should not weigh that much. I wonder if it's how much of electricity we put out is what they're actually measuring. And so then, aren't pounds a measurement of force, not mass? So old-fashioned imperial measurements, the pound could be used to measure force, and some people occasionally differentiate by using the term pound mass or avoir du poids pound and pound force. Engineers in particular are fond of talking about pounds as units of force. But if you're a scientist, it's best not to get into this game. The pound is a very confusing unit with unnecessarily confusing historical baggage, which I don't know what that is, but like all imperial units, it's best avoided in modern science. Stick to metric SI units and everything will make much more sense. Anyways, I just thought I would share this. I'm going to have to look up more about imperial measurements. I feel that one of the reasons that the United States uses a different system for measurement is to hide the fact that the U.S. is not nearly as big as we are led to believe. And our roads are often made really windy and things like that, and that adds more miles to it. I mean, it's literally engineered that way, but anyhow, basically, what I've concluded here is that weight is potentially a measurement of an electric force, or they're actually measuring mass and not weight, and weight is just a myth. Have a great day.